commitment on both sides on something which is very simple. And I think the audience will understand it very, very easily. Don't shoot at a nuclear power plant.
Rafael Mariano Grossi, the head of the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency. Let's go live to Kyiv. And Christina Katrakis, a UN ambassador to Ukraine for the UN Sustainable Development Goals Foundation. Did you feel or see the attacks overnight in Kyiv?
Hi, thank you for having me. Well, yeah, basically all night went in bombing and shelling and missile, and you know that Ukraine was attacked with all kinds of missiles this time, so it's really unprecedented. And even though the Ukrainian air defense worked very well, I mean 34 out of 48 were shot down plus 4 drones, but still the missiles landed and hit the ground. So Kyiv saw probably about 3 to 4 big explosions that I was able to hear. And around 5 o'clock, that's when the really big explosion happened, when the missile hit really close to our house here in the Holosivsky district of Kyiv. And Russians were targeting basically infrastructure once again, and not any military objects or military related issues and areas. So once again, we see Russians targeting civilians and civilian infrastructure. They did do damage to the electric plant in Kyiv. So there was a loss of electricity in some areas after 5 o'clock, after that last missile landing, and internet failure, still no hot water, at least in our place, and no heat in some places as well. But it's slowly coming back. And as you know, I'm an American, and I'm here with my family and my 7-year-old son, Mark, who's also an American, and he was shaken. I mean, he was shaken at 5 o'clock. So we all went into our own bomb shelter, where we spent all this time of attack and air raid alerts this morning and this night.
Are you going to take him home now? I mean, it must be absolutely terrifying to go through that.
Well, you know, we made our decision on the first day of war, and we decided to stay because we figure if everybody leaves, who's going to help? And as long as we stay together as a family, that makes it much easier even for a child. So as long as he sees that his mom and dad are together and everybody is one as a family, that makes a whole difference. But of course, for many children, it's very traumatic. And you know, they basically live in a different reality. You cannot even imagine what reality they have to deal with. In addition, our foundation, which is FFUN SDG-Help UA.org, provides help for frontlines. So we do trips to all frontline areas and help civilians and children there who are still living there. In fact, we just returned from Liman, which is Donetsk region frontline, Kramatorsk, Slavyansk, where in Liman, people are still living in the basements because all the buildings are destroyed and they have no water at all, no electricity, no heat. So they basically live in the basements with wood that they burn. So we started a program called Power to Ukraine and Be the Light. And in the premises of that program, we have our ambassadors of light, such as Charles Wessler, famous Hollywood film producer, Olena Ness and Marina Marchenko, and others, companies and people who help and participate to try to bring power to Ukraine, to be the light. So we were able to provide generators and power stations, food, clothing, rechargeable lights, you know, a medical supply, all the important basics. And of course, some British partners such as Tanya Parks, Guthridge, and Phoenix Group were very helpful in that as well. But what we need right now is help on the big scale, because we realize that we need help for air defense, and we need it now. We cannot wait for Patriots, for training, for things like that to happen. And this is not Ukraine's war. This is world war.
Christina Katrakis, thank you very much indeed. UN Ambassador to Ukraine for the UN Sustainable Development Goals Foundation. We wish you the best, and of course your son, hope he's all right, and all those other children living through this. Thank you.
Thank you. Please join us and help.
Thank you.